Today's lesson is about solving systems from real-world contexts. We will be learning this lesson through a few different types of questions. First question. BestFlix charges $10 for membership and $3 per movie rental. Zulu charges $15 for membership and $2 per movie rental. For how many movie rentals will the cost be the same for both? What is that cost? Let's define our variables. Let X number of movie rentals and Y cost in dollars. Let's set up our equations next. For BestFlix, our equation will be Y is equal to 3x plus 10. Since it charges $3 per movie and it has $10 for membership, the initial value. And for Zulu, it is going to be 2x plus 15, since it charges $15 for membership and $2 per movie rental. Now let's graph it. We can use slope y-intercept form to graph these two equations. Let's label our axis. This is number of movie rentals. And this will be total cost. To graph these two equations, let's write the slope and y-intercept for each. For the first equation, slope will be 3/1, and y-intercept will be 10. For the second equation, slope will be 2/1, and y-intercept will be 15. For the first equation, my start point, which is y-intercept, is 10. I am going to start from 10, and I am going to move up 3 units and 1 unit right. So 3 units up, 1 unit right. 1, 2, 3 units up will end up here, and then I'm going to go 1 unit right, which is my second point. I will continue the same pattern for a few more points, so I can connect and then get a good line. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1 unit. It will go here. And let's continue with the same pattern. Go 1, 2, 3 units up and 1 unit right. 3 units up, 1 unit right, and I think this is enough. Let's continue with graphing. So this is for the equation y is equal to 3x plus 10. For the second equation, my start point is 15, which is right here. And I'm going to go 2 units up and 1 unit right. 2 units up, 1 unit right. So let's go 2 units up, 1, 2, and then 1 unit right. 2 units up and 1 unit right. 2 units up, 1 unit right, 2 units up, 1 unit right, and I will continue with the same pattern. And I think this is enough. Let's connect the points. Okay, so this is for y is equal to 2x plus 15. This one was for Bestflix, and this is for Zulu. These two lines intersected at, let's check, 5 here and probably 25 here. So the intersection point here is 5 and 25. Since we know that 5 stands for the movies, number of movies, and 25 for the cost, then we can answer the question for how many movie rentals will the cost be the same for both. That is for 5. And the price for that number of movie rentals will be $25. So let's complete our question by writing our answer in a complete sentence. Okay, let's continue with the second question. Please make sure to follow the same formatting steps for the next questions. Define your variable, set up your equations, and if you need to graph, you can graph, but make sure to show your work if you're not graphing to solve the equations. And then make sure to complete your question by writing your final answer in a complete sentence form. Okay, let's look at question number 2. Mona's age is 4 times Billy's age. The sum of their ages is 45. Find the age of each. Let's define our variables. Let's have M for Mona's age and B for Billy's age. And what also we're giving, M plus B is 45, because it says the sum of their ages is 45. And also we're giving Mona's age is 4 times Billy's age. So we can say Mona's age is 4 times Billy's age. I can use the substitution method to solve this system. I'm going to rewrite the first question, and I'm going to plug in 4b for m. I'm going to substitute 4b for m. Then I'm going to solve this equation for b. So from here, we found out that Billy's age is 9. Let's substitute this 9 for B in the second equation or first equation to find Mona's age. I'm going to substitute 9 for B. So we found out that Mona is 36 years old and Billy is 9 years old. Let's finish our question by writing our final answer in a complete sentence form. Okay, we're done. Okay, let's move on to the next question. The length of a rectangle is 5 meters more than twice the width. The perimeter is 52 meters. Find the length and width of the rectangle. For these types of questions, I highly recommend you guys to draw a rectangle to visualize the question. Here's our rectangle. Okay. Let's call W the length of width of rectangle. And W was width of the rectangle. L will be the length of the rectangle. Let's call this width. And we have information about length here. So we're going to use this information where our length will be 5 meters more than means plus, twice means times 2, the width. So we can call it 2W plus 5. And now we can create our equations. The first equation will be for the perimeter of the rectangle, which we know 2W plus or 2L plus 2W is equal to perimeter. And then we also giving that L is 2W plus 5. So we created our system. The best method here would be probably substitution since L is already isolated. Let's plug in 2W plus 5 for L. 2, let's substitute in the second equation, 2L plus 2W is 52. And 2, instead of writing L, we are going to write 2W plus 5. And let's rewrite the rest. And then let's distribute 2 over 2W and 5, which will give us 4W plus 10, plus 2W is equal to 52. Let's combine like terms before we move on with the next step. I would like to highlight also the sign in front of 2W to make sure we don't miss any sign here. 4W plus positive 2W will give us 6W plus 10 is 52. And let's subtract 10 from both sides to isolate 6W first. And let's divide both sides by the coefficient of W to isolate W, which will give us 7. So the width of this rectangle is 7 meters. Now let's plug in 7 or substitute 7 for W in the second equation to find length. Let's use another color. Our second equation was L is equal to 2W plus 5. Now let's plug in, let's substitute 2 and then times 7 plus 5, which will give us 19 meters. Okay, we're almost done. Our final answer will be finding the, writing the answer in complete sentence. So we will say the length of rectangle is 19 meters and the width is 7 meters. And here is our final answer for this one. Okay, well done. We're done with another question. Question number 4. We have a coin type of question. The value of the nickels and dimes in Mrs. Bean's piggy bank is $2.25. There are a total of 27 coins in her bank. How many of each type of coin does she have? Let's start with defining our variable. D is for number of dimes. And N is for number of nickels. Okay, and we can write our first equation for the number of coins, which will be N plus D will be 27. And we can write the second equation for the money amount, which we can write as 0.05 plus 0.10D is equal to 2.25. So here what I highly recommend to change this second equation to whole numbers by multiplying both sides of the equation by 100. If you multiply both sides of the equation by 100, you will get 5, I forgot N here, 5N plus 10D is equal to 225. And now we can create our system. So let's rewrite our system here with both equations. So the first equation was N plus D is equal to 27. And our second equation is 5N plus 10D is equal to 225. Okay, you can use any method you want here, but I think I'm going to use again substitution, since N and D, their coefficients are 1. I'm just going to isolate one of them and I'm going to substitute in the second equation. So I'm going to use N plus D is equal to 27 and subtract N from both sides. And from here, D will be 27 minus N. And I'm going to substitute this equation in the second equation for D. So the second equation was 5N plus 10D is equal to 225. So we will rewrite 5N as it is plus 10. So instead of writing D, we are going to write 27 minus N. Okay, is equal to 225. Now let's distribute 10 over 27 and negative N. From here, 5n plus 10 times 27 will give us 270 minus 10 times 10n will give us 10n is equal to 225. Let's combine like terms here. Let's highlight them first. We have 5n, we have negative 10n. When you combine them, you will have negative 5n plus 270 is equal to 225. Let's subtract 270 from both sides. And from here, negative 5n is equal to, let's see, if we subtract 270 and 225, we should get 45, but because 270 is a larger number, so it is going to be negative 45. If we divide both sides by negative 5, your final answer will be n is equal to 9. So there are 9 nickels here. Let's look at how many dimes we have. Let's use this space to find out how many dimes we have. So let's use the first equation, n plus d is equal to 27. Let's substitute 9 for n. And let's solve it for d. If you subtract 9 from both sides, we will have the number of nickels, 18. Okay, we're pretty much done. Let's write our complete sentence. We'll say she has 18 dimes and 9 nickels. Okay, that is our final answer in a complete sentence form. We're done. Next question. Okay, this time we are going to write again system of equations for per pound, and we are going to write it also for the cost. Okay, let's start with defining our variables first. Okay, F is amount of flour in pounds. And S is the amount of sugar, again in pounds. Let's write our equation for the first for the weight and then second equation for the cost. So F plus S is equal to 15 pounds, and also 0.8 F plus 0.5 S is equal to 9. Like we did with the previous question, we can multiply this equation by 10 to get rid of the decimal points, and we can work with a little bit more, like less complicated equation. So let's rewrite this equation as 8F plus 5S is equal to 90. So we are going to write every single term in this equation by 10. Then here's our equation. So we have, our system. F plus S is equal to 15, and 8F plus 5S is equal to 90. I'm going to use substitution method I'm going to now substitute one of either f or s in the second equation, but let's solve it first. So if I rewrite my first equation and isolate maybe f this time, from here f will be 15 minus s. Now let's substitute 15 minus s in the second equation for f. Let's write it here. So it was 8f plus 5s is equal to 90. So let's plug in 8, and now I'm going to write 15 minus s, and plus 5s is equal to 90. Okay, let's distribute 8 over 15 and 8 over negative s. 8 times 15 will give us 120 minus 8s plus 5s is equal to 90. And I'm going to combine like terms here. I have negative 8s and positive 5s. So 120 minus 3s is equal to 90. Let's subtract 120 from both sides to isolate negative 3x. And from here, 90 minus 120 will give us negative 30. And if I divide both sides by the coefficient of s, which is negative 3, s will be from here 10. So s is 10. If s is 10, then we can easily find f. Let's plug it in here. The first equation was, maybe I will use another color to show that step properly. So f plus s is equal to 15. So f plus, we know s is 10 now. And from here, if you subtract 10 from both sides, f will be 5. And the last step of the question, let's write our answer in a complete sentence form, which is there were 5 pounds of flour and 10 pounds of sugar in the order. Okay, so this is our final answer for this question. Done. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 6. The sum of the digits of a two-digit number is 7. When the digits are reversed, the new number is 45 less than the original number. What is the original number? Let's start with defining our variables. I'll use t for the tens digit. So t is for the tens of the original number. And I'm going to use u for the units or ones digit of the original number. So original number is like TU. I then have, based on the given information here, the sum will be, for these two digits, T plus U is equal to 7. Let's use this information to write our second equation. When the digits are reversed, the new number is 45 less than the original number. So here is our reverse version. If our original number is TU, the reverse version will be UT, right? That will be reverse version. Then we can write 10U plus T using the place value, since T stands for the tens and U stands for the ones. We can just write 10T plus U for the original, and for the reverse version, it is going to be 10U plus T is equal to 10T plus U, which is the original number, minus 45, since it is less than the original number. Then I can organize this equation a little bit better. I can isolate the constant, and we can write the system after that. Let's subtract 10T from both sides. From here, these are canceled. 10U minus 9T is equal to U minus 45. Then let's subtract U from both sides. And from here, 9U minus 9T is equal to negative 45. Here's our system then. The first equation is T plus U is 7. And the second equation, I'm going to switch T and U term to kind of line them up together. So it's going to be negative 9T plus 9U is negative 45. So going back here, I just switched them around. So I wrote it as negative 9T plus positive 9U is equal to negative 45. To use it by lining them up as T's and U's. Now I can use elimination here, since T has a negative and positive coefficient, plus T's for the first equation is coefficient, for the first equation, the coefficient is 1. So if I multiply the first equation by 9, I can eliminate T. So let's change the color here. Let's multiply everything by 9. When we do this, our first equation will look like 9T plus 9U is equal to 63. Then negative 9T, we will rewrite the second equation. 9U is equal to negative 45. And from here, we eliminated T. Now we have 18U is equal to 63 minus 45 will give us also 18. Then if I isolate U from here, U will be 1. So our ones digit is 1. Now let's look at our tens digit. So let's take the first equation here and let's substitute 1 for U and see what we'll have for the tens digit. And from here, so T will be 6, which is the tens digit. Then here's our final answer in complete sentence. The original number is is 61. Okay, done. Let's move on to the next question. Number 7. Okay, let's read the question our own, and then let's start writing our variables. We are going to use the distance formula. Distance is equal to rate times time. Okay, it's time to write the equations. The first equation, let's write it against to wind. And then the second equation, let's write for with wind. So from here, the distance is 3,000 kilometers, and against a wind, it is going to be P minus W times 6. From here, it says 6 hours when it is against to the wind. And then for the second equation, the distance will be the same. This time it will be with wind, so plane speed plus it will be wind speed, and then it's going to be in shorter time, which is 5. At this step, I would like to write the equations in a simplest form as possible. So if I divide both sides of the equation by 6 for the first equation, I can just isolate P minus W. For the second equation, if I divide both sides of the equation by 5, I can also isolate P plus W. So let's rewrite first equation. So 3,000 is equal to P minus W times 6. I'm going to divide both sides of the equation, 3,000 here, both sides of the equation by 6. So from here, I will get P minus W as 500. And let's do the same thing for the second equation, which is 3,000 is equal to P plus W times 5. So I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by 5. And from here, it is going to be 600. So P plus W is equal to 600. Now I have a very simple system to solve. So we have 500 is equal to P minus W, and 600 is equal to P plus W. We can use elimination method, and these are eliminated. And 5,000 plus 600, 500 plus 600 will be 1,100, and is equal to 2P. If I divide both sides of the equation by 2, I will get then 1,100 divided by 2 will give us 550. So from here, P will be 550. And let's plug this in and substitute in either first or second equation to find also W. I'm going to choose the second equation. So 600 is P plus W, and 600 is, let's substitute 550 for P, and subtract 550 from both sides. And from here, W will be 50. Okay, we're done. So let's finish our question by writing our final answer in a complete sentence. So we'll say plane speed is 550 kilometers per hour, and wind's speed is 50 kilometers per hour. And done. And we are done with this section. Great job, guys.